Welcome to the GameChanger 00100 show. I'm your host, GameChanger. Now, first of all, let me apologize. Let me apologize for being tardy. Let me apologize for being late. The way I can make up for it is by having spectacular content for you, which I am going to do today. So, woman was telling Passport Bros that they shouldn't buy box, and she was explaining why. We're going to get into her explanation of why and what I feel about it, and then we're going to explore her channel a little bit more to get a grasp and understanding of the person who is saying it. But before I do that, there's another topic that deserves some exploration. Yeah, that's the word for it. There's another race of people excuse me, there's another topic, right quick, that deserves at least to be touched on because I think it's an interesting phenomenon, given everything on paper. And yeah, I'm just, especially in modern times. And so I'm very curious about it. Hit the like button, people. Hit that like button.
What race wouldn't you date?
Asian people.
Bruh.
I would date any race.
Are you into Asians?
I have a boyfriend.
But are you into Asians?
Not necessarily.
Okay. What race wouldn't you date?
I don't know. Asian.
Come on now, dog.
Asian.
Come on, man.
I don't know. I'm not saying. I can't.
So Asians?
Yeah, sure.
What race wouldn't you date?
Asian.
Okay. What race wouldn't you date?
Maybe Asians. Oh, but we can still be friends. Do you wanna be
No, I'll pass. All right, what race wouldn't you date?
I would date anybody.
Okay, be honest. Like, tell the truth.
That's an awful question. As long as I can find a boyfriend.
Okay. Hit her up. At in the description. What race wouldn't you date?
Now, the thing is that this has been the case for a very long time for Asian men. In fact, for since before I was born, and really as far as from a historical standpoint that I can remember. Okay, here's what I mean by this. Typically, groups of men, because women view things as contemporary in a fashion sense, meaning, oh, that's so last year or that's so last season. Like they change what they desire quite rapidly. So one day it'll be light skinned black men, the next year it'll be white guys, the following year it'll be Hispanic, and then it's dark skinned black guys, and or who knows. I'm not saying it's year by year, but I see a rotation with all women. That's pretty standard. And so that logically speaking, every man should get a turn from that. What's interesting is that Asian guys haven't gotten a turn yet. They haven't gotten a turn. And I found that really just like, oh, I wonder why that is. It's almost like a repulsion, and I hate to say it, but it's really bad when these for the like at least half of these girls are really trying to be polite, but they're saying this to an Asian man while he's there. Like, yes, it's you, and I'm sorry. And this isn't like for the obvious reasons why they may be less desirable. For example, height. This guy is taller than each of the women that he's interviewing, or each of the women that he's asking this question to. So it's not that. I mean, he has a deep voice, deeper than mine. So it's not really something that. But no, they're just saying, yes, you are the one that I wouldn't mess with. Now, that's one part of this short video that I want to share with you. Another part, and this is something that I want y'all to pay special close attention to. He's not asking any black women. He, as an Asian man who, according to his own survey, is the least desired, don't even think to ask a black woman. And to be perfectly honest, and this is the harsh truth, this is just as harsh as the truth as these white girls are given to this Oriental man, and that is they don't really count them as women. And that's the sad, honest truth. Their opinion and desires and preferences really don't matter because they don't really count to most groups of men out there. They're served. Okay, years ago, and this I was a lot younger. I was like 32 when this happened, and my girl at the time, she introduced me to like this website or something where you can watch movies not only for free but early. And this is in exchange for filling out a survey or questionnaire at the end of the movie. And on the pre-questionnaire, there was an age thing. There was a bunch of questions like race, gender, and age and stuff like that. And what became apparent to me very quickly is that they didn't care about my opinion of the movie as a man past 30, or maybe it was past 25. But as a man past whatever age they give a crap about your opinion, they didn't care. And they made it apparent in, okay, you don't have to fill out the survey at the end, or you just enjoy your free movie, but really don't care what you do. It was made very clear and apparent. I'm like, okay, I understand that you age out of certain things, and movies are marketed to certain groups of people, certain demographics of people that I no longer fit in. They are not in the demographic of desirability. He went to his type and found out that he wasn't his type's type. He already knew this, and he probably has a channel dedicated to this that I'm going to explore. But it's clear that he is not interested. He's not looking to settle. And if he were to get with the Blk woman, he would consider that settling because he really want this, chick with the light blue, or this other one with the, yeah, you want one of these. She's blonde. So there you have it. There you have it, her. So it's hard out here for an Asian. What can I say? When I say Asian, I'm not just talking about Orientals. I think that what they're saying applies to like Indians, Arabics, and pretty much anything that is east of the Caucasus. And yeah, which is unfortunate for them. All right, moving along. So there's a woman out there, and she has a budding channel. So I'm not going to critique too harshly, but I am going to critique because it must be done. And well, there's something I want to show you about this woman before I get started. So let me go to history so I can bring up the video that I'm going to discuss today, and give you all a chance to hit that like button as well as comment in the comment section so I can read and review your comments. All right, so where's the video that I was going to talk about? Here we go. Here we go. All right. Okay, so the thing about this woman here, one of the first things, and not in this video so much, but in other videos, the thing that popped out to me almost immediately is that she is because y'all remember the last time I said somebody looked like somebody. She's a lesser version of Danica Marie. So some people have the same characteristics and stuff that that someone else has, but each and every single aspect of them is lesser. Okay, think of it like Don Chino's character in the Avenger movies, War Machine. He is a lesser Iron Man. His suit will never be better than Iron Man's suit. He just has like where Iron Man has like fancy lasers and all kind of stuff. He has regular bullets and regular missiles. He sucks. He is the lesser Iron Man. There isn't a power that he has that Iron Man don't have betterer of it. He don't. He's the lesser. He's Robin. Robin is always going to be the lesser Batman. He has the same abilities as Batman, just not as much. She is the lesser Danica Marie. Somebody said T-Boz, and that's the hairdo, but you're gonna see her without the hairdo, and you'll see like a lesser Danica Marie pattern. So, and I want to say why for a number of reasons. The lips isn't as full and as glossy as Danica Marie's. And and this is the like big thing is that the tigs aren't as bitty. The tiggles aren't as bitty as Danica's. So that's just the physical aspect of it. That's a physical aspect of it. We're going to get into the more substantive aspects of why she is the lesser D. Marie. All right, so somebody said Timu T-Boz. I seen T-Boz. She was doing some type of commercial on empowerment or something like that, something stupid. She looks like utter trash now. These bros, they be aging horribly. They be aging horribly. What was it? It was a commercial on something stupid too, where I forget what it was. Somebody help me out with that. But it was just bad. And then, she just looked. I was like, wait, is that her? Trying to have the same hairdo because that's the only way we recognize her? Like, I think so.
Relationship girl. I am back with another video. We ain't gonna waste no time. We gonna never waste no time here. We just gonna jump right into it. So I want to just be straight up with y'all. I'm gonna be like, ain't no chaser. Ain't no chaser here. So just listen up. There is no real long-term benefit in paying for a woman, tricking with a woman. I see a lot of y'all enjoy tricking. A lot of y'all like to trick. I had one person in my comment section say, we go to the DR with every intention to trick. Mm-hmm. So ain't nothing wrong with that. But let me get you together right quick. Understand.
Everything before the word but is BS. Ain't nothing wrong with that, but yeah, you find something wrong with it. She talks about the long-term benefits of tricking. I don't know if anybody who does it for long-term benefits. I don't even know what that really means. It's kind of like somebody coming to you and saying there's no long-term benefits in renting a car. It's like, yeah, I wasn't really renting a car for long-term benefits. I'm renting a car because it fits my car needs right now. What? So, and this once again, Danica is very informative, and I'm not just comparing. You're gonna see why I'm bringing Danica into this because there's a lot of female content creators that I could do, but with the tattoo pattern, with the full lips, but not Danica full lips, with the biddies that's not as tig. Um, there's a reason. There's a reason that I chose Danica to make a comparison to. Danica is extraordinarily informative and insightful and entertaining. This woman is a lot less experienced, so I'm going to give leeway on that. However, it's not very informative. To say that there's no long term benefit, what the? Okay.
And there's a dark side to tricking. There's a dark side to paying for her time. And just understand this, there is no real long-term benefit in paying for her time and paying for her sex. None at all. All you're actually doing, being okay with this process, is putting yourself at risk. And God forbid that you have other partners that trust you, because you're also putting them at risk as well.
That is true. That is true. I do worry about catching STD and giving it to someone else, and not from tricking, but from cheating. I do worry about that a lot. That's not something you think about until you actually get burned. And yeah, so that is a thing. She's right about that. Why is she reading it? Why is she reading? Not only is she reading it, she got the laptop to read it. She couldn't just write it down and have like a little notebook or something like that. She's like, no, I'm gonna hold up the Apple to read this to you. It is not like a major thing, there's no long-term benefit to a short-term transaction. That's not something that has to be written down or typed in. That's yeah.
You're exposing yourself to diseases. Let's just get that clear. Understand this. You exposing yourself to diseases, and whoever else you're having sexual intercourse with that trust you, you are exposing them to diseases as well. And why are we exposing ourselves to diseases? I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
It's because when you pay for it, their relationship is trans.
When you pay for it, it's a transaction, making that relationship transactional. See, this is far less insightful than most females who touch on the subject, which really means that she's getting this from herself. She's not getting insight from the manosphere and learning from men. She's just like, hey, did you know that when you have a transaction, it's transactional? Like, yes, that's really the most obvious thing a person can literally say. Okay. And also, STDs, what she said is true. That is something that any person with a side piece should worry about. Not, maybe a little more so if you're paying because that's her job. But if you have a side piece and you have a wife or a girlfriend or something like that, then you should be concerned because it puts the relationship at risk. And do you want to risk it for do you want to risk your main dish for dessert is a valid point. But that's not really limited to a person who is paying. It's really just a person who has side pieces or is cheating in general.
To you, my friend. So understand this. since some of y'all say this is what y'all like to do, this is not a situation that is just exclusive to only you. You're not the only one. You're not the only one. That same woman is dealing with whoever else is willing to pay. And he don't even have to be paying more than you. So this is not exclusive at all.
Okay. I don't know many guys who get that. Well, I do actually. I do. And none of them really think that they're the only ones. And this is in this space and outside of this space. None of them think that they're the only ones. Like, I have never met a man who, just drop some coins on it, thinking that her entire career revolves around him coming with whatever he pays her. I mean, kind of like when I go into 7-Eleven, I don't think that I'm the only person that goes to 7-Eleven. Like that's just not how commerce works. So this is making this so far very uninsightful. Because she's saying, like, you shouldn't mess with working girls because they see other people. It's like people who, and thinking about her audience are guys who are aware of everything she just said. Higher probability of STDs, and no long-term benefits. These guys know that. I mean, and really, it's much like renting a car. Like, yes, there's no long-term benefits, but there's also no long-term problems. You're not going to be there when that rental car breaks down after 100,000 miles or so. You're just going to rent another one. So yeah. Somebody said I'm the only one eating at McDonald's. Yeah, that's what something like. Yeah, I mean, pretty much anybody who has a transactional relationship, just like you have a transactional relationship with anybody, like that's the way commerce works.
So
true story. You ever get the feeling that if for whatever reason you find you're out of town or something like that, or you just find yourself in a situation where you're messing with a new barber, you're looking for a new barber, and you walk in and you see somebody sitting on his arse? You ever get the feeling that you're his only customer? And he just pop up so quick when he see a new face, looking around, hoping to he just pop up so quick, like, yeah, oh, I can help you. The dude that's been sitting down, look like he's been sitting down there all day playing Wordle on his phone, and then you walk in and he's just, I get the feeling that I'm his only customer. Somebody said she keeps the same hairstyle. I do too. I keep the same barber, but sometimes I'm out of town. And I do that. I'm either in another country or I'm in Miami or something like that. And I get nervous when that happens, but yeah. But even my own barber, there's a empty seat barber there who only deals with like really kids. Like, so I think that's how they make their money. Anyway, that dynamic is rare. I doubt that you're her only client, and if so, you got the worst one on the block or on the website or wherever you go to buy your box.
What you like to do, you gotta start looking at the situation for what it really is, because a lot of guys that like to trick get caught up in the fantasy and believing that the fantasy is some reality. So I'm gonna help you.
I'm wondering if that's actually true. Like, or is she just making a straw man out of this? I look at the movie Pretty Woman, and I guess that would be an example of somebody really forgetting, for whatever reason, that she is so. But I don't know if regular day to day people do that. So, for example, and this was maybe like 1 year ago. This was very recent. I hired. No, this had to have been more than that because I don't see them at Home Depot anymore. But I hired some Home Depot people not too long ago, and to do some work. I'm not going to say what it is. Hired them to do some work, and in the true fact, okay, something y'all should know about Home Depot people. They will try to actually charge you more than the regular people. If you need them to paint or something, they actually try to up it to more than the regular people. It's like, dude, I pulled up to the Home Depot to hire you, so I don't have to pay like regular painter wage. Anyway, hired a couple Home Depot people. They did the job, and they asked for, and I gave them the agreed upon price, and they asked for a tip. And I said, no, I ain't giving you no tip. This is the agreed upon price. If you felt that, then you would have negotiated more, and we would have discussed it then. But no propina, nothing. You get the monies you get. But since I'm not a complete jerk, I offered to take him to lunch because I appreciated the work. So I took him to lunch, and yeah, I know I do stuff like this. I do stuff like taking Mexicans to a taqueria. Don't know why I do stuff like that, but I do. So I took him there, and one of the first things they said is like, he was like, ooh, chicas, and then so apparently in that area is where working girls work, and and these are day workers. They got their wives at home, I'm sure, and I'm thinking like, when I listen to this woman now, I don't think that these guys are really taking these women that stand outside the taqueria selling tacos, I guess, or a place to store your burrito. I don't taking these women seriously. Like, in all of the stories and tales that I hear about this, none of these guys, except for the movie Pretty Woman, none of these guys are actually just taking the women seriously. It's always something on the side. So she's really strange. She's creating a straw man. She's building a straw man. That's what I have to say about that. All right, let's continue.
You not blur these lines. These girls should be viewed like items at an auction. These girls that only want you for your money and that are for sale, their time is for sale, should be viewed like items at an auction.
They are viewed as items in an auction. As far as I know, they are viewed as items. Well, not really an auction, because for it to be an auction, it would have to be like a bunch of other guys just jacking up the price of the product. Like, she's standing there with her tits out, auctioning up, like she starts at $5 and then ends up at $2.50 because it's just like a bunch of guys trying to bid on the box. It's not even it's not even an auction. It's just like a product that you buy, like off the street, like they used to sell like bootleg DVDs and What else they sell on the street? Like mixtapes. This is all back in the day. Do they still sell stuff on the street now? Um, just whatever people sold on the streets, like D boys or something. It's a after a while you pretty much have like a set understanding of the price, and that's the price. That's not really an auction thing. That's more of a street vendor thing.
They go to the highest bidder. Nothing is exclusive about them. I don't know why God seems to think because she's bad and she's beautiful. If you got the money to pay, like y'all think that just because she bad and she beautiful that she exclusive. This is an exclusive.
Nobody thinks that ever. Most men understand. This is very sophomore. Most men understand that there isn't a correlation between beauty and fidelity, especially when money's involved. If anything, men are of the opposite opinion. Men will believe that, oh, okay, this ugly woman is going to be faithful to me because nobody else wants her. Nobody's saying like, oh, she's beautiful, she's going to be faithful. Come on now.
Experience? No, it is not. Whoever is willing to pay is going. Whoever can afford access to her is going to get access to her, and that is dangerous. That's dangerous. You need to understand the danger in this. If a woman only values your money, that means for one, you cannot trust her. If she only values your money, that's just that. That's just what it is. So don't expect nothing else from her. And a lot of guys that's saying they okay with tricking don't understand this. You pay for a fantasy with her, and then after a few times you done slept with her or had sex
I
with her.
don't think that they're paying for a fantasy, unless they're paying for a fantasy. But I mean, even if they are, let's just say that they are paying for a fantasy. You do understand that it's not a reality because a fantasy is not reality by definition. For example, I used to mess with this white girl, and she was mixed with a couple of other things, but some of which are Asian, but she was definitely white presenting. And she had a fantasy. And that fantasy, and she didn't express it to me directly, but she just did things to make it clear that she had a very unique fetish given what she was. And that was Mexican. For whatever reason, she wanted to speak Spanish, even though she don't speak Spanish, and call me papi and stuff like that, and say stuff like adios. Like she knew only like 20 Spanish words, and she said them all the time so she could feel more Spanish while getting smashed by a black man. Now she knows that she's not Mexican or any type of Latina, and she don't even look it. She looks like a very white person. And but she knows. She knows. She enjoys the fantasy. Like, I mean, I mean, I participated in her fantasy. Well, I didn't really call her like Mamacita or anything like that. But I mean, I allowed her to do that and not say anything about it. I didn't grab her and say, "You ain't Mexican." I didn't do that. but it's people just have their things. And if a guy was to Melissa said IPOP. Yeah, exactly. If a guy wants to like pay a woman and tell her to dress up like Sailor Moon and do some things, then I don't see the problem with that. He knows that that's not Sailor Moon. He knows that that's not Sailor Moon. Yeah, I don't get it. Uh, like I think she's under the impression that men have trouble separating fantasy from reality, or maybe men who pay for bots have that trouble. I think that men are more practical than that.
You telling her you in love with her. Now you saying you want to marry her. So you done took this fantasy. Now you trying to trick yourself. Nope. Stop it right there. You're doing too much. If she only values your money, that means you cannot trust her. And in today's world, any woman that you're giving your time to needs not a want thing. This is a need thing. Any woman you giving your time to needs to be someone that you can trust, it needs to be someone you can trust with your life. Period. Especially in 2026. You need to be able to trust her with your life. That means that you need to be comfortable knowing she's protecting you from diseases that can harm you or even kill you. You need to know this for sure. You need to be able to go out in public with her and not worry about another man lurking around looking for her somewhere. You need to know this for certain because that.
Well, you worry about that. Not necessarily worry. I don't really spend much time thinking about it. But that is something that can happen with anyone. Yeah, that's just something that can happen with any woman. Some women just have crazy exes. I have crazy ex stories. My ex's exes, who I was like, okay, this ninja is weird. You know, um, I was gonna tell y'all a story, but I'm gonna stay focused. I'm gonna stay focused this time. Anyway, that's not really exclusive to working girls, and I don't know what she's envisioning here, but it's something far different than how I envision transactions happening. And how I envision transactions happening, these particular transactions happening, comes largely from television. And what I've seen, and this was a long time ago, but there was like pros on the block when HBO did the P's up, H down type stuff. That's where it comes from. And what I've seen on that is that somebody drove up, they gave them $40 or however much it is, and then they got down in the car, and then the woman just went on doing whatever it is. Oh, she just went walking looking for the next guy. Like same with hustle and flow. So where's the somebody coming looking for her? Like, well, I mean, she's not hard to find. She stands out on the block in her panties all day. Like, that's like, I mean, why is she under the impression that you're just going to like walk, walk down the lakefront with her, arm in arm while you feed her cotton candy and y'all just whisper sweet nothings. I laid on my jacket so you can walk over a puddle. Like, why is she under the impression that that's what happens? Because maybe she's seeing a different show that I don't know about. Like, but it seems like they just like pay their money, screw in a car in an alley, and then just go about their business, both parties.
Happens too, even in these other countries. These other countries. You need to know that she's not on the phone with another man dropping your location so you can get set up and robbed. Because passport bros, this happened in the DR too. This happened in Colombia too. This happened in Brazil.
This happened in the ghetto too. And it happens like ridiculously in the ghetto. Ridiculously. in the ghetto. I heard about the scopolamine cases, but you're robbed. You're not really beaten up there. Like as it, yeah.
This happens everywhere, passport bros. So keep this in mind. This happens all over the world. This is not just happening in one place. This is
Yes, I know. It happens all over the world, including the United States of America. What's your point?
not just American women. This all women everywhere.
Yes, yes. So I'm going to refer her, since we're talking about movies and television, I'm going to refer her to Menace to Society and Ayanna Cousin. Yeah, because that happens. That happens when you buy box, right? Ayanna Cousin can't take a whooping, so he comes back, and then get Sharif too. Okay. She hasn't successfully stated what's uniquely bad about buying box. Now, there are a lot of things that are uniquely bad, but she hasn't really said that yet. She hasn't, drove that point in. Hit the like button.
Are capable of doing this. Women set up men every single day who come out there looking to be paymasters and looking to be tricks. Mr. I like to go to the DR and trick. Crazy. Some men like to trick, but they don't realize the danger they're putting themselves in.
I think they
And
do.
here is the truth. A lot of y'all, this is the truth that a lot of y'all don't want to hear. Women have absolutely no respect for men who are just tricks. I'm going to say it again. Women have absolutely no respect for men who are.
I think that they're not really looking for their respect. Okay. Let's flip the genders for a second. And let's just say I have a barbecue shop called GC's Barbecue. And a woman comes in. And I was to say, I have no respect for a woman that can't cook, that has to buy barbecue instead of her cooking. How much do you think she cared? Because she's not there for respect, she's there for barbecue. And when a tricks, he's not there for respect, he's there for some box. He's there for that good. Yeah. If you go to a barbershop and say, I don't have respect for a man that can't cut his own hair. Oh crap. Okay. So she's really trying to downsell this. And I have my theories on why. I'm going to explain that after the video.
Just tricks. Why do you think most pretty women don't go for the guy they can control? Women are turned off by men that they can control. Okay? She may finesse you and make you feel like, she respects you and all of that. But if she is in control of the situation, trust me, she don't like you like that. She turned off.
Irony alert. Women don't respect men that they can control. So I'm trying to control where these men put their penis. You do realize that by this video, you are trying to control men's actions, right? You do realize that you are telling a man what not to do, right? You understand this. You understand exactly what's going on, right? Right? Okay, I hope the irony's not lost.
By you and she don't respect you. All the pretty girls are with women that can control how they move.
All the pretty girls are with women that can control how they move. Somebody make sense of that statement as it pertains to men. Because there's a lot, I mean, because even if you replace the word women with men, all the pretty girls are with men that can control what they do. Do you mean that the men can control what they themselves do? Or the pretty women are with um, men that can control what the woman does? So even, you know, and she read that statement too. I'm going to just ignore that one, and I'm going to talk about the whole control factor. The truth of the matter is that by doing that, men are controlling the circumstances under which they have SEXXX. And it also means that the woman can't leverage a box on this guy, which is really why you're doing this, in my opinion. That's really why you are trying to dissuade men from going in this direction. It's because you ultimately want the ability to have complete and total um, market share on his access. But no, he controls it. He says, listen, I want it this way, and I want you to pretend like you are a ex-robot from the HBO series, what's that called? Westworld. He's in control. I don't see it. He's used to being in that control. Welcome, new channel member. I can't pronounce this name, but I seen on Razor Rays where someone called you Melissa, so I'll go with that one. Melissa, welcome to the channel. Greatly appreciate you. All right. By the way, you get exclusive content when you become a channel member, so don't miss out. Don't miss out. All right.
Just pay attention. Pay attention to what's going on around you. They always go for the men that they know they have to respect. So they may be only with you when you have money, but they with that other dude all the time. That's who they going to bed with at night.
Mm-hmm.
They with the man that they know they have to respect. So this should tell you everything. You should not want to be a trick. You shouldn't be going nowhere, my passport bros. Y'all shouldn't be going nowhere with the.
Once again, women like a man that can't be controlled. You passport bros, y'all shouldn't be going nowhere. You're trying to control where these guys go. Well, just stay here and wait for me to give you box. Okay. Yeah, you really respect those guys, right? Because black women, have so much respect for black men. In fact, every time like I talk to an Asian coworker or something like that, they always tell me how much, like, wow, black women have so much respect for you guys. Ever notice how the men who trick the most get the most respect from their women? Ever notice that? Even the Home Depot people, he gets more respect from his wife than Will Smith gets from his. Ever notice that? And here's the crux of it. And this is something that she won't tell you because she's blonde. But here's the truth of the matter. Here is the meat and potato, and here is the eggplant in the peach of it. Women don't respect men without options. I'm going to say it again. Women don't respect men without options. One more time. Women do not respect men without options. One thing I could tell you in my travels, particularly to countries with where it's legal, where selling box is legal, or like the Philippines, it's illegal, but it's unenforced. One thing is clear, is that they understand that I have options, and my options are as vast as my dollars. And that eliminates all the BS. Okay. 90-day rule, for example. That's something that you impose on a man without options. The whole 90-day rule thing, that's something that you impose on a man without options. So what's my point? My point is that women lose respect for guys when they are your sole source. When you are the only one that he can go to for sexual comfort, then they, to quote Courtney Michelle, leverage the box.
Intention of tricking. Women are naturally attracted to the man that demands respect. And you can, to my passport bros, y'all can go out the country and come back with a wife if you don't go out there on some trick and paymaster type of time. So don't limit yourself. Don't.
Now, this is true. This is true. I do believe, so she actually has one point. I'll give this one to her, because what winds up happening is, and this is something that happens in a lot of countries, particularly ones that that travelers frequent, that ex-tourists frequent, is that even if the woman is interested or physically attracted to you, she's not going to turn down an opportunity. And, meaning that, I don't know, who's the handsome dude that women like? Okay, Desmond Idris. My cousin complimented him not too long ago. So even if Desmond Idris was to go to this place, who is a handsome man, at least according to my cousin, and a woman was to be interested in him, she would probably still expect her $40 because she's used to getting $40 from tourists, whether he's attractive or not. So it does limit the options for that. But I do think that changes between a person who's visiting and a person who is who lives there. If Desmond Idris was to visit, let's just say Dominican for a couple of weeks, then they would probably like, okay, it's going to be $40. So I know that you're just a man here on vacation, and no matter what I do or how well I do it, you're not going to marry me because you have no intention of being here. But if you are there, then it's like, okay, I can either, charge $40 or, enjoy the long-term benefits. So it all depends. But she does have a point in that regard. But the truth of the matter is, I mean, the guys who are triggering, they're not looking for wives. and many of them probably already have wives.
Limit yourself. Women are naturally attracted to the man that demands respect. Tricks don't demand respect. They rent it. They pay for it. It's temporary. That respect.
Homework assignment, fellas. Homework assignment. I want you to walk up to your nearest neighborhood Keisha. And I want you to say these exact words. I demand respect. And write back to me. Email me at GameChanger00100@gmail.com. Email me her response. I wonder if Will Smith, maybe that's what happened. Maybe Will Smith never thought to tell Jada that he demanded respect. Oh. 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 Wonder how many guys get slapped saying, I don't think she realized I demanded respect. Okay.
It disappears the moment the money runs out. You want a woman that's going to love you and respect you with the money and without the money. Because guess what? Life happens. You might need her to step up. You know what I'm saying? You might need her to take over for a little short period of time. Situations change. And if money is the only thing holding that situationship, relationship, or whatever you want to call it, if money is the only thing holding that together, then you never had anything with that woman in the first place. Now,
you're not. So she's talking to somebody in a chat room, like, or in her comment section. That person, I'm pretty sure, knows. By the way, that person isn't me, but that person is pretty much like you never had anything with. Like, I know I never had anything with her. Like, it's carnal. It's not. No one. Very few people actually think that this is a relationship. And I'm pretty sure that, it's like variety and mix and match and stuff like that going on. Like that's the whole thing. I don't think that they're just buying the same box over and over again. Maybe they are. I don't know. But I mean, I don't think that they are under the illusion of a real relationship. It's like, yeah, she won't be there when times get rough. Like, yes, he knows that. He knows that.
when you pay for access, you remove the need for effort, character, standards, and it might feel convenient to you.
You don't remove the need for standards. That's for certain. Oh, I think I get what she's saying. Like, you remove the need for meeting her standards. So I'm assuming that people who pay for box have greater standards because you want to get what you pay for. But okay, she's talking about the standards that she has for you. That no one needs that. I don't need that crap. No one is walking around saying, man, I wish I have a need for a woman with high standards. No, I want a woman whose standards is just below me. What the hell? That's not really an effort. Like, very few men want, like, and I will say young men are probably more in this because they're still in the thrill of the chase mode. But nobody want to put in effort. Nobody wants to be that dude in a rom-com that's just trying to get to, the 7:15 flight so he can make a grand gesture in front of everybody in the airport, and then some TSA dude knocks him the fuck out because this is real life and people don't do crap like that in the airport. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to do all that. I'm in my 40s. I am not trying to slay a dragon. This is a dragon. I've seen Game of Thrones. I am not trying to slay that. Bitch! Nope. Nope. And we should welcome it. She's playing hard to get. That means you play too much. I ain't got time for no games.
At the moment, but I'm telling you, this is not what you want. So I want y'all to take away what I want y'all to take away from this video is that it's a dark side to tricking. And if you like tricking, just understand the dark side. There's no long-term benefit. There is no real respect there. There is no loyalty there. There is no protection there at all. You're putting yourself out there on the line, and it's
what protection is she referring to?
a very dangerous situation. So pay attention to these things. Thank you guys for watching my videos. I would love to hear what you guys think. Don't be shy. Like, comment, and subscribe. And share my video to someone that you feel needs to hear it.
All right. Let's see. This video is 6 days old. Somebody say shout out to T-Box. Y'all killing it. Your videos are like home cooked meals. Don't change anything. Keep it down to earth like this. Okay. Love the 90s look. Okay. The sad part is that these things need to be explained to grown men. No, they don't. That's the sad thing. The sad thing is you think that she might as well just spent like the last 20 minutes saying eat your vegetables. Like, I mean, just because she's telling men this like they don't know, don't mean that they don't know. Okay. This woman is doing the Lord's work. Don't stop. Keep it up. All right. I like the statement. Any woman you're giving your time to need to be someone you can trust with your life. No, it doesn't. And you're not giving your time. You're giving your penis. So by this man's logic, this Denton Malcolm's logic, he only slept with women that he trusts with his life. I've slept with women I don't trust with the key to my place temporarily. I have slept with women who I don't trust with my Netflix password. And this is the truth. This is the honest truth. What in the world is he talking? I'm dealing with women I don't trust with the last 4 digits of my social security. This man, yeah, you gotta trust her with your life. Only thing I trust her to do is to not bite it. That is it. I trust her to not bite. And that's a lot of trust. I trust her to not bite. Stupid. Lady, you have a strong point. It's the truth. Oh my gosh. It's called protect yourself. Use protection. Yeah. You can still catch herpes. Abstinence is the only way to not be exposed to STD. It's also the only way to not get boxed. Okay. Oh, she replied to one. Salute to the narrator, valuable information, segment, and advice. Really? Who is this advice valuable to? Were you about to buy some bots and then you heard her and you said, oh, well, now that you put it like that. All right. Oh, that's not a real response. All right. I got value from this video. Then you had no value before this. All right. I like it. I want peace on earth. I appreciate your language, mind, and body. Yeah, you just appreciate her body. Remember what I said the other day about Black women's inability to seduce men that are not thirsty and or humble? This is examples of that. First of all, she's actively working to make you and keep you thirsty. Hit the like button. That student teacher crush is okay. Maybe because I actually seen Danica Marie. She's okay. I'm gonna show y'all the next video. So y'all can get a sense of, because everybody's saying T-Bots, that's because she has a hair. But I'm gonna show y'all another video so y'all can get a sense of why I view her as a lesser Danica Marie. So we're gonna get into this. All right. Oh, she did another video on pain. Okay. Well, this is another one, but she got the same haircut, so I'm gonna start doing. Apparently, she did a couple of videos on Passport Pros. Dang, she still has the same hairdo. All right, I'm trying to find the one that I seen a moment ago. Oh wait, here we go. Where she had a different hairdo. Okay, so okay, so now here's what I'm talking about. So what you see is the full lips, but that's not Danica Marie full. And what you see is the round almond eyes that are just not Danica Marie round almond eyes. And then, she just simply don't have the tiggle bitties that Danica has. So what we're dealing with is a lesser version of Danica Marie. Okay. So y'all know, I don't know his name. I think it's Bill Cobbs or something like that, which means that he's also a lesser Bill Cosby. But the guy that shot Nino Brown, may he rest in peace, the guy who shot Nino Brown in New Jack City. You're an idolater, that guy. He is a lesser Morgan Freeman. He's a lesser version of Morgan Freeman. Of all the actors I could think of, he always, every time I've seen him, and I see him from place to place, time to time, he's always like the lesser Morgan Freeman. Always. And I'm like, wow, it's gotta suck. Like you're almost there, but you're just not Morgan Freeman. You're Bill Cobbs. And she is the lesser Danica Marie, not only in looks but in talking points too. And there's some similarities there. They both are married. They both married very young, and they both believe and respect in their husband. At least so she says. So and the tattoo thing, but we're not going to get into that. She actually looks hotter with clothes on. Somebody said, okay, does she look like T-Boz now? That's why I picked this video, because y'all get distracted by T-Boz because of the hairdo. Does she look like T-Boz now? It's a difference between like having hair like somebody and then looking like the person. That's why I did this, where the hair is different. So she could look different. She's a different person. Hit the like button. This video is entitled Are Black Men Leaving or Just Choosing Different? Okay, we're gonna play this video. This is gonna be a little grueling, but I want to do it so we can get a sense of who she is and what she's about. All right.
Men feel so disconnected from the modern day Black woman. Let's just get into it.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to figure this thing out for y'all. Now, this is a touchy topic, but the truth is needed. The truth is needed, and this is something that I don't see a lot of people talking about. But today we're gonna jump deep. We're gonna take a deep dive into this situation that's going on. So that is the growing sentiment that some Black men feel increasingly disconnected from the modern day Black woman. Now, this is a layered conversation. This is a layered conversation. There's so many layers to this conversation, but I can only touch on.
It's not so many layers. Modern women change their behavior. Modern men change their interests. That's 2 layers.
What I can cram in this few minutes. This conversation deserves to be handled with honesty and respect on both sides. But we gonna keep it a buck.
Okay.
We gonna keep it a buck for real and really unleash the truth.
Hey, somebody who knows accents, tell me if she's from Mississippi. Because if she is, then that'll be the end of the stream.
So I want you guys to stay with me. Follow me to the end of this video, because at the end of this video, I'm going to break down what's being said, what's being felt, and why this divide seems to be growing, and what it could possibly take to bridge the gap. So let's dive into it. So one of the main things that we're seeing right now is that many Black men feel that they have received a very clear message from the modern day Black woman. And I think that this has happened over time. And that message is that they are not enough unless they can provide at a very high financial level. For some men, the perception is this: if they cannot fully fund a lifestyle, cover every bill, or provide a certain level of material comfort, then they are often overlooked and dismissed. That is what you will get from the modern day woman. I don't even want to, center this around just the modern day Black woman, because I feel like a lot of these modern women, period, you gonna get this type of energy from. So she.
Okay. All right. What she's saying is true. However, it's more true for Black women. Just like there is a disproportionately high number of Black men in baseball, football, and basketball, there's a disproportionately high concentration of Black women in depraved behavior. It pales in comparison. So let's not even like say, oh yeah, all women do it. Okay, listen, I mean, all boys have bad grades, or they have members of their community that have bad grades. However, it's a bigger problem in the Black community than it is in the Asian community. And that should be noted. So, yes, general ratchet, obnoxious behavior and demanding more than what you're worth. First of all, monetizing your sexuality to begin with and demanding more than what you're worth is a Black woman thing.
She can be Black, you know what I'm saying? She could be white, whatever. It's a lot of modern day women that have this concept. So just pay attention to who you're dealing with. Even if she Black, if she white, she foreign, whatever, pay attention to these modern day women so that you can get a clear visual, a clear understanding. You can have pure, crystal clear clarity as to what you are getting yourself into. And
I love it when people warn you about modern women and then tell you not to go overseas and buy box. I love it when they do that. Because that makes all the sense in the world, right? Right? I love it when people just come to me and say, hey, GC, whatever you do not buy apples from the grocery store. And then you go pick it off the tree and it's like, oh, you picking up tree apples? It's like, if you don't, just leave. Just leave. Just walk away slowly, like they did on the old Incredible Hulk TV series. Like, that's what you need to do. That stop being. The pattern of behavior here is that the only way to get box is to negotiate with me.
to what type of person that you really dealing with. Now, whether every woman is this way or not, that is not the point. The point is, this is how many men are interpreting what they see and what they hear from these modern day women. There's many modern women across all backgrounds that are prioritizing financial security. They are prioritizing their lifestyle, the stability, and just upward mobility. And the thing is, there's nothing inherently wrong with doing this. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, now that's very debatable. If there's anything inherently wrong with doing this, which is monetizing their femininity. Okay. If there's nothing inherently wrong with selling, then why is there something inherently wrong with buying? I'm going to repeat this. There's nothing inherently wrong with selling, but there's a whole videos that you have based on why it's inherently wrong to buy. Okay, I believe you.
There's nothing wrong with having those standards in place. Every woman wants to uphold their stability and have some financial comfort.
And every man wants to put his penis in an attractive woman's vagina. So when women are selling themselves, it's every woman wants financial stability. But if men were to buy box, there's no, hey, every man just wants something to stick. Okay.
And live a certain lifestyle. But where the problem comes in at, where the tension starts to build at, is when the relationship that you're in starts to feel more transactional. It starts to feel more like transactions than the actual.
You just said it's okay. It's inherent for them to seek transactional relationships. But the problems start when it feels transactional. See, men don't go off of feeling the way women do. We don't feel things as intently, and we kind of look at the situation practically. Like, it's not the transactional portion that bothers men. I think it's the amount of the transaction that bothers men. For some, it's the currency, but really, I mean, they're transactional no matter what. And even the currency is deprecated now. So, okay, for example, it's like inflation. It's weird. Say if a man's currency, an individual man's currency, isn't money, it's looks. He just so happens to be a god-faced dude. Even the complaint for the god-faced dude is that the results he is getting from his face is less than what his face deserves. And he understands that his currency is his looks. His looks can go a lot further, not money. His looks can go a lot further in every other market on the planet. That's what's going on. And even if your currency is intelligence, if your currency is charisma, all of these things, whatever your male currency is, what shout to Nelly, whatever your pimp juice is, it goes a lot further in other markets. Now, but we're talking about money here. So even if your currency is the same as the US currency, even if it's local tender, even if that's your currency, it's still a lot more here than anywhere else. For example, someone says here, you can fund the lifestyle of a woman for 64K a year or 65K a year. I know because I've done it before. It doesn't take that much to take care of an adult who's not using you for your money. Okay, all right. I understand what you're saying, but you worded it wrong. Because 65K a year is provided that there is no shared amount, meaning that you're giving her 65K a year and she's living separately from you off of your 65K a year. But no, you're referring to if you make 65K a year and y'all are living together sharing expenses. Yes, and that should definitely work. There really isn't any reason why a situation like that doesn't work, because in all actuality, the only thing you would actually be paying for is extra food, clothing, and energy, and things like that. Everything else would overlap. You don't even have to buy a separate Netflix account, So, yeah, that's ideally. They don't want the ideal. They make it clear, I want you to pay my ... I want you to pay my ... I don't want to have shared expenses. I want you to pay for my independence, is what they're saying. Which is absurd, which is why the cost, no matter what currency you're using, the cost is far greater here than anywhere else in the world. Somebody said something that I gotta address and I'm gonna address this respectfully, because I respect both Tupac and Biggie. These females are nothing but low-key destitutes. Low-key? Low-key? What do you think low-key means? There's no low-key about it. They're destitute. They're destitute. This is the high-keyest destituted population ever. This is not low key. This is the highest key imaginable. Low key.
Partnership. don't get it twisted. A relationship, a wife-husband type of dynamic, even a girlfriend-boyfriend dynamic is still a partnership. Now, if you're just dating, then we're not going to say, okay, we're in a partnership with each other because we're still trying to fill each other out. But if you claiming that girl as your girlfriend and y'all in a relationship, whether y'all married or not married, that situation should not feel transactional. And if it does feel transactional to you, then you need to exit left. If it feels
It's perfectly natural for a woman to want resources in a relationship, but if the relationship feels transactional, then you should exit left.
transactional and it does not feel like a partnership, because guys, a relationship is a partnership. It's a partnership. I don't care what these modern day women try to make you believe or try to make you feel bad about. A relationship is a partnership, period. So the moment that you start to feel like this relationship is more transactional than it is
Dang, she's saying the same thing. It's
partnership, that's your sign that that is, for one, not your wife. That is not your soulmate. And this is not who you should be giving it all up for. So let her go and let's keep on vetting them out until you find your forever, because she's not it. She's not it. What you need to be.
okay. I gotta address this because you're my dude and you support a lot. But I gotta respond to this. It says, big facts, you get less bang for your buck in America anywhere than anywhere else, and especially if you're a black male. Okay, I agree with the America part. Um, I don't agree with the especially if you're a black male portion. I think as a black male, we get the most bang for our buck, and we have very few bucks. Okay, here's what I mean. Here's what I mean. If you were watching from the beginning, you seen the video where the Asian guy walked up to like five white girls and asked which race would you date, and they all said Asian. They get the less bang for their buck. They have the most bucks in this country. They have the most bucks, and they also get the least bangs, which is a sad reality. Well, actually, no, because there's a quality factor. So, no, I see what you're saying, Lenny. I see what you're saying. Never mind. Let's move on.
Really focused on dating these women, being in relationships with these women, and all of that. You need to be focused on. You have to monitor like what value is to them. You have to really get a clear understanding of how they value you and your position in their life. You have to figure out what
That's not the position I'm worried about.
they really value in you as a man. Because when value is measured.
Okay, men, you should not be valuing yourself based on what you're giving her. That's a very toxic mentality. Now, the title of this video is Are Black Men Leaving or Just Choosing Different? And she's still telling black men their value system. She's imposing her value system on black men. There's always going to be this sense of deference that black women feel that they have over black men. There's always this view of child or little brother ness that they have with Black men. Like, I need to teach you because you don't know this. And what kills me about this is, and this was what separates her from Chantel Simone, Danica Marie, Shay Sade, the Bella Rings. Three of the four are married. One is hopefully first, soon to be married. And the thing that separates them is that they listen to men first. And really, when they're giving critiques and advice, it's largely given to women, except the obvious, like don't mess with these women. But I mean, really, they're not telling men how to live their life, and they most certainly aren't telling men what to do with their penis. Penis. They most certainly is. They're just not doing that. So. Danica, she comes on the scene, and she listened to me, she listened to Kevin Samuels. She went around filling the space before she just stepped in, thinking that she know more than everybody in it already. Same with Chantel Simone. She mentions my channel, she mentions Kevin Samuels' channel. She said that that was a pivot in her life. She understood that the women that she was taking advice from in the past don't have lives that she wants to replicate. So, she looked to men to find a different direction, and then she gave a female perspective on what she learned from men. This chick is like, I know everything, and y'all men need to listen to me. If you're paying her, she don't love you. That's not. You haven't heard a damn thing we said.
Primarily by what you can provide as a man, just materially, rather than what you bring to the table emotionally, spiritually, or relationally.
I'm concerned about what she brings to the table. And it better be a sandwich. And what she brings to the bedroom. And it better not be fat. Because fat broads wear your springs down. So if you keep them there and then you roll over, it's like a place of worn springs.
This is a huge red flag because all husbands are providers. Most girlfriend and boyfriend dynamics are still.
I don't know what's inside my mattress now that I think about it. I don't know what's inside my mattress. But whatever it is, it don't support fat broads. So it mushes it. They mush it down. You know how, like, if you have a peanut butter jelly sandwich and then somebody just press on it, that's them. That's them. I'll never forget, there was a fat chick that years ago I used to give a ride to, or no, not to, but from work. I'm not a jerk, and if I'm heading some way and you need a ride, I give it to you, kick in some gas money. And she lived, we worked in a city called Emeryville that probably not many of you people heard of. We worked in a city called Emeryville, and she lived in the hills, in Oakland Hills. And I had I'm not going to say the type of car, but I had a regular car. And I heard like my transmission struggle to take her up the hill. You can hear it. It make a different sound. It was like, zzz. I was like, what is that sound? It never makes that sound when it's just me or when a regular chick is in the car. Like, Is she weighing? Is she destroying my transmission? She is messing with my transmission. She's messing with my transmission. So, and that's when I concluded. I was very young when this happened. That's when I concluded that they wear everything. Like everything just around them gets worser in time. Your transmission, your bed springs, your couch springs, and the foundation that your house is built on. Everything wears quicker. And I don't know how, but I get the impression that they be wearing on the garage door opener. Because I recently had to have the springs fixed on my garage, and I got a feeling that it's because, dude, y'all know my partner that's been staying with me for a bit. He be bringing fat girls over, and I got a feeling that they did something to my garage door. I'm telling you, they destroy all around them.
Men that are providing for their girls. You know what I'm saying? Somebody, a man in a relationship, whether it's his wife or whatever, I still see boyfriends providing for their girlfriends like their girlfriends are their wives. So, I mean, like, there's a lot of men that still honor that traditional, you know what I'm saying? That traditional role of what we know works for a relationship and longevity of the relationship. Now, I'm gonna break down why most men are choosing to date outside of their race. Most men are choosing to explore relationships with women of different cultural backgrounds, and it is not because they are turned off by the Black woman or they're not interested in the Black woman, but it's because
that's exactly why. That's exactly why. That's like Arby's saying, well, the reason why people aren't eating at Arby's is not because they're not interested in Arby's, it's because they just want something that tastes different. That's what not listen. Arby's tastes like utter crap. It tastes the way I picture Mississippi dirt tasting. Like, I don't know who eats at Arby's, but I do know that they're terrible people. It's terrible. So, and they don't change their recipe. They don't get better. They just get more terribler. It's weird that Arby's still exists and Blockbuster Video don't. They're stupid. Anyway, for them to say, yeah, it doesn't mean that they have something against Arby's. No, there's something against Arby's. You need a whole new menu, and you need a sign that says not Arby's. This is some Spirit Airlines crap. This is some Spirit Airlines way of thinking. It's not that people didn't like Spirit Airlines. Yes, it is. It means that they just prefer every other airlines over Spirit. If somebody prefers everything else but you, then it means that they don't like you. I'm gonna have my sister say that. Next time she shoot down, actually I'm gonna have my homegirl say that. Next time she shoot down a dude, I'm gonna say, hey, I want you to tell him just like this. It's not that I don't like you, it's just that I would rather be sucking everybody else's dick. What the hell? Oh, the logic here. The logic here is spectacular. Somebody said Spirit Airlines is so plain. I've been to Spirit Airlines once. I've been to Spirit Airlines once to Texas. Never going back. Well, I can't go back now, but I told myself then, it was years ago, like, oh, that was terrible. That was the worst experience flying I've ever had in my life. And and the fact that people go there and they take regular trips, I was like, that is insane. That is crazy work. I go out of my way to avoid Spirit Airlines because when you go to Expedia, it brings up all the airlines, and and I have to click it to like not do Spirit because Spirit comes up as the top and like cheapest, Spirit and Frontier. I'm like, ooh, nope. Let me get rid of that. That's Arby's. Now, by her logic, is like, well, it's not like that they don't like Spirit Airlines. It's just like they like American, Delta, United, Air Mexico better. That's what that means, sweetie. If somebody likes everything better than you, it means that they don't like you. I'm gonna say I never heard anybody go to Arby's. Of course not. Like Arby's tastes like pure. Arby's is like Spirit. I only did it once. I did it once. Like what in the world is this? I didn't know food could be so terrible.
Because they received the message that you have put out. They have received the message that you put out, and they know they can't fit the bill. They know that they are way more than providers. They know that they have way more to bring to the table. You know what I'm saying? Other than just money.
It's not. No, it used to be good 30 years ago. Arby's was never good. Anyway, what did she say? You got me pissed off defending Arby's. I've lost my train of thought. What did she say? Oh, so she's talking about we want to be seen for, the other stuff that we bring to the table other than money. No, we want you to bring more to the table for whatever reason. For whatever reason. For whatever reason you are with me, I want more from you.
And monetary and materialistic things, they receive the message. So you can't be mad now. You put the message out there and zip, they got it. So they are choosing other races of women. They are choosing to explore other women from different cultural backgrounds, not necessarily because they are rejecting you, Black woman, but because they feel that in other spaces, they are more appreciated. They are more respected.
That's what rejection is. That's what rejection is. If a man is rejecting your space because he wants to be in another space, then that's what rejection is.
In these other spaces, they are more accepted just for who they are and not just for what they can provide. And again, this is about perception and experience. Perception over time shapes behavior. So these men, I keep saying this, like they're hip to the BS for real, and they just trying to go where they are appreciated and where they are accepted and valued for who they are. These men.
Correct me if because I know that the way I think is wildly different than a layperson or just regular people. I know that. I know I think a lot different than most. I am way more concerned with the value I receive from a mate than the value I give to said mate. And this because I've classified myself as a receiver. Some people are givers, other people are receivers. I'm most definitely a receiver. So perhaps she's describing some of you where you're looking to be valuable to a woman. I'm looking for a woman to be valuable to me. And that is how I enter situations as, uh, a situation that spans genders, always. Always. And the reason why I'm silent is because I'm like scanning through my life to where I seen a woman and say, "Oh, I hope I can give her value," and that's never happened. I never like. Okay, y'all know how I feel about Chloe Bailey. Do you think I look at Chloe Bailey and think about the value I can give her? That's a hell no. That is a hell. But maybe it's part of my unique brain. Do y'all do that? Do y'all look at certain women and say, "Ooh, I'll pay your rent. I'll buy you." Is that what y'all do? I just don't. I just don't. I look at many women. Chloe Bailey, let me use her as, or no, I'll switch it up. Tila, Tyla, what's that South African girl's name? She could get it. But I don't look at her and say, "Ooh, what value can I give her?" Nope. That is not the first thing that comes to my mind. And the first thing that do come to my mind is so nasty and depraved that I'm not going to share it on YouTube. However, it's not what I can do.
Are not just paymasters. If if a man is really into you, whether he's dating you, he's your boyfriend or married or whatever, like these men gonna pour into you. And if you are attracting men that's doing something else, then it's something going on with you. It's something going on with you that you need to get to the root of. What we are really experiencing right.
Okay. So Melissa says, GC said, maybe she's describing some of you. She's describing provider men looking for wives. No, I get that. However, I don't go into the situation thinking about how much I can provide her. I go into the situation thinking about what can she provide me as a wife? What can she? I do not get off on the provisions I'm giving her. I get off on the provisions I am getting from her as a wife. That's the whole get up. Because you can provide a lot to anybody. But it's what are you giving me?
Now is not just like some crazy dating trend. What we're experiencing is an emotional disconnect. It's a growing gap where both sides feel misunderstood. Some Black women feel unsupported, unprotected, and burdened.
Miss me with that crap. Miss me with that crap. I feel unsupported and unprotected. Listen, just by virtue of having a vagina in America, you are the most supported welfare, Section 8, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You are the most protected being that has ever existed ever. I feel unprotected because all I got between me and savagery is the National Guard and the Coast Guard and the Army and the Navy and the Marines and the Air Force and the Space Force and the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the DEI and the ATF and the state police and the county police and the local police and my neighbors' dogs. Outside of that, I'm completely vulnerable. Shut the hell up. That's just you trying to get us to sympathize with your plight so you could get a better deal out my penis. No, it don't work that way. You're protected, I'm erected, let's make a deal. Other than that, I don't want to hear crap.
A lot of them feel this way. But then you have some black men that feel unappreciated. They feel undervalued and constantly measured. And both sides feel unseen. Both sides feel unseen, but the problem is when both sides feel unseen, they begin to look for connections elsewhere. And this is exactly what's going on. But the thing is, nobody is looking at the deeper issue. Everybody is just choosing to date outside of their.
Holy crap. Did you just say nobody is looking at the deeper issue except everybody that's looking at the deeper issue? See, this is the thing. She didn't consult with the manosphere before, before like doing stuff, because it seems like everybody is looking at this issue deep. The issue of black men leaving or choosing different has been looked at by black women and black men since the beginning of forever. Since the beginning of, well before you were born, because it was well before I was born. And like the earliest recollection of people looking at black men looking at other women was like Birth of the Nation, which was made by the Klan or some crap like that. Like nobody thinks about black men dating outside their. What the hell? She's just walking around like she's the first person to think of this. Emmett Till, anybody? Like this has been like everybody has thought about this ever, like all the time. All the time. This seems to be all everybody thinks about ever. What? I'm trying to like compare and think of something that people thought about more in American history, but I really can't because like even WW2, they thought about it and then they stopped thinking about it. Like even Vietnam, they thought about it, then they stopped thinking about it. Even the Cold War with Russia, they thought about it and then they stopped thinking about it. We even stopped thinking about the railroads. Like there is nothing, I don't think that there's anything Americans think about more than black men messing with women that are not black. I don't think that there's anything. Y'all help me out in the chat. Is there anything that Americans seem to think about more besides my BBC and Becky's Mouth? Like, is there? And I'm not talking about contemporary, like they're thinking about Iran right now or something like that. I'm talking about like what have they thought about consistently for over 100 years more than anything. What? And she's like, I'm the only one that's thinking about this.
Race, or to go here or go there to find someone that truly values them. And I mean, what else are you supposed to do? So I get it, but we should look into the deeper issue of why we have come to this. Beneath all of this, it is something much, much deeper. And it's not just about money. It's not just about dating preferences or whatever. It's about alignment and values, expectations, and identity. Because when two groups of people begin to develop different ideas,
Finally, something profound. When she says alignment, she killed it with that. We are not aligned because black men haven't really changed, at least not through a major push until recently, where black women changed drastically in around the 60s as far as what they value. When they started saying, I don't need a man or something like that, that's a change in value. Because men still needed women the same way that they needed them the generation prior. It was women that changed their value, which means that men began to value relationships more than the women, and things were not aligned. So you said that. Excuse me, hiccups. You said that perfectly. All right, let's continue.
of what a relationship or partnership actually looks like, it becomes harder to meet in the middle. So, this is what's happening. You have a lot of black men that still have those traditional values, that they are willingly trying to implement in their family dynamic, but it's not being accepted. They are still feeling unseen and unheard by the modern day black woman. This is what has to change. Where are the women that understands partnership? Where are the women that understands teamwork? Where are the women that understands building? These modern day women are different, and if you are
So you understand that. You understand that there is a deficit of women who are, let's say, Proverbs, whatever that Proverbs type chick is. You understand that there's a deficit of those type of women. You've come to that conclusion. And you still condemn men for not seeking within a deficit. That's different. I mean, you should understand why guys is going overseas for whatever reason, to buy box or whatever reason. It's like, well, there's a deficit here, so you know. I mean, I don't walk up to somebody that's wandering in the desert saying, "Why are you buying water?" That's it is what it is.
up today and you lose your job or you have some hardships that arise tomorrow, most of these modern day women will leave your ass out to dry. You got to vet these women out thoroughly so you don't waste.
Isn't that what you just said about buying box in overseas? You got to understand cause and effect. Listen, I know, and if you're watching, because I'm gonna send you the link to this. But if you're watching, this isn't to thump on you. I know you're 32 videos in, so and you're doing very well as far as growth goes. Because like a month ago, you had hundreds of views, and now you have thousands. So you're doing very well as far as growth goes. Um, Watch others who speak on the subject. So because you're married and this doesn't really pertain to you, so you don't really have a reason to investigate it in your day-to-day life. I understand that as well. Um, but these things have been talked about before, and you're we want a different perspective, and I think that that would take your channel, very, very, very far, and I want that for you.
Your time. You don't put people in your life that doesn't belong. So let's check all of this at the door. Find out what she values. Find out what's important to her. Find out what she's on.
Don't you do that. Don't you do that. Shout out to Shay Sade. Shay Sade is allowed to enunciate every single word the way she do. You want to know why she's allowed to do that? Because she's Shay freaking Sade. That's why she's allowed to do that. She walks around like, yeah, I'm Shay Sade. I spell my name with a Z, and I enunciate my words, and I say stuff like important. But you can't do that. You want to know why? Because you got to do all the words like that, or else it's just wrong. It's just wrong. See, listen at this. So you hear what I'm talking about.
At the door. Find out what she values. Find out what's important to her.
Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that? Important? Y'all hear that with the T? It's not important. It's important. Y'all hear that? Y'all heard it. It sounds wronger when she does it, right? That's because she don't have that Shay Sade S. She don't have that big word, and then regular word, big word. See, she don't have that flow of big wordedness and enunciation that Shay Sade has.
Find out what she's on through and through and save yourself the time. You don't want your mama to meet her. You don't want your family to meet her. If you have children, you don't want your children to meet her until you are sure what she values and what is important to her. Because these...
Y'all see that? There it go again. There we go again. So it's not that it's bad that she's stupid. Okay, here's the all right. You ever watch a movie and I don't know if they do this now, but they used to do it back in the day, or maybe they do it now and it's more sophisticated. But when they take out the curse words and in the place is somebody else's voice that says something and it don't sound right, kind of like on Predator, if you watch that and then you watch it on regular TV, and then they say, you are one ugly mother freaker, and it sounds like that. It just sounds like somebody else chimed in and said a single word. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Those of you, you can imagine what I'm talking about. That's what that sounds like. It just catches the ear like, wait, what was that? That don't sound like the other words you say.
Modern women will put you in a trick box and you won't even know who you are anymore once you come up out of it. So take heed to what I'm saying. The reason why this conversation matters is because it's going to save you heartache and pain and time wasted. When this divide grows as it has continually done, this divide has just been growing. I've been waiting, I've been watching, I've been waiting to see, like, where is the togetherness with the black woman and the black man? But they keep saying, oh, we're We going over here. We going overseas. We going. I just don't see it coming together. So this divide is
You have to address the reason why the men are going overseas. I mean, because going overseas is what you do when the division exists. If you want to address the cause of the division, then you have to look to black women. And until they start giving me sandwich the way their grandmama used to, I don't want to hear shit. That's it. Your picture frame crooked. I don't want to hear shit. I don't want to hear nothing. Until you start getting me sandwiches and baked stuff. Like and I don't like eat baked stuff because I'm not in my 20s that often anymore, but I still want to smell it. I still want to smell it. I want like brownies and stuff. Yeah, see, and that's the thing about Shay Sade. I bet you her kitchen smells like muffins, like all the time. All the time, I bet you it smells like blueberry muffins or um, not sweet potato pie, but what is that? What's that pie that smell real good? It smells like pie. It smells like delicious food all the time. Danica, she's vegan and it probably smells funny. And Chantel is Jamaican, so it probably smells foreign but good. Um, but that's what I want. Smell good. Have the kitchen smelling like something delicious. Or cleaning supplies. Until you do that, I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing. They are not back at the table. They're not at the damn table. This one says, fellas, if the economy was good, they would never be coming back to the table. They are not at the table. I'm going to say this again. They are not at the table. They are not at the table. So to all you obsidian people that be like, and BGS people like, oh, just waiting for women to just come knocking on your door when they homeless and begging, which is a very perverse fantasy. But nevertheless, for all of you who are seeking that day, that's not happening anytime soon. Come back to the table. It takes more than poverty. These dudes be like, winter is coming. Listen, they invented the winter. They are the ice queens. What are you talking about? You think that black women never been poor before? They will do anything before they come to that damn table that y'all just so fixated on. And what's the point in that? Even if they did come back to the table, it's still a temporary arrangement based on poverty, meaning that the only way to sustain any deal that's made at that table is if the impoverished circumstance will continue to exist into perpetuity. That's there's no way in America or anywhere that can be negotiated. There isn't. She comes back to the table because, she's down on her luck. And then a couple of things could happen. One, things get better for her financially, and then she leaves the table. or two, things get better for you financially, and then she divorces you and take your half of the table. Stop poverty fetishizing. Stop having like dreams of poverty. Stop it.
Continuing to grow. But the more both sides continue to divide, both sides also risk losing something valuable. And that's not just a relationship with somebody that looked like you or having a connection with somebody that looked like you. But what you really will lose is understanding in your culture and unity within your own culture. And that's important. If it's not important to you, if that doesn't hit for you, then it just shows what you truly
Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that important? Y'all hear that?
value. And this is what my men, you need to pay attention to what they truly value to save yourself the heartache and pain. It's important to say this clearly.
See, she
It's
said it right now. Y'all heard that, right? She said it right now. Y'all hear that? It's trickery. Watch, listen to her say important regularly.
what they truly value to save yourself the heartache and pain. It's important to say this clearly.
See?
It's very important to say this clearly.
See that again.
This is not about blaming anyone. And this is definitely not about solely blaming Black women either. And I'm not blaming Black men totally. It's about recognizing that something has shifted between us and asking.
No, it is about blame. And Black women understand this. You don't necessarily have to blame yourself, but you do have to understand that there are a group of people who look like you that deserves the blame. Because until you do that, you'll see nothing wrong with that action, which means that you feel that this type of behavior, this type of treason, is not worthy of condemnation. You have to. You have to say these people are wrong. When Black people do something wrong, I say, oh man, that brother did something wrong. It's about learning from not only your mistakes, your individual life mistakes, and the mistakes of others. See, that's why there's things that exist in religions like repenting and confession and stuff like that. You have to. It's personal accountability, and there's also cultural accountability. But you don't want to blame those women because you feel that people will group you in with those women as well. But you are their protectors. You are protecting them, which makes you equally unappealing. You're on their side. If a crip is jumping a blood or vice versa, and I'm protecting them, then I get hands too. Like that's how that works. That's how that works.
whether those shifts are helping us or are these shifts hurting us and hurting the ability to build strong, lasting relationships with one another. At the end of the day, most people, regardless of the color of their skin, regardless of their background, are still looking for the same thing. And that is respect, appreciation, a real freaking connection, and love, regardless of how you.
Shouldn't really have to look for respect. Like the fact that you're looking for it means that it's not something readily available in the Black community. It's not. And that's coming from like Black men and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know, like y'all gotta think about this. I'm older than many of you. If somebody were to ask a young man in the 90s or even an older man in the 90s, what are you looking for in a woman? They would not say respect because that's pretty much common. Kind of like when somebody say, "What are you looking for in a car?" Nobody says tires because it's just assumed that they all come with tires. The fact that she says people aren't looking for respect really shows that there's a deficit of it. So it makes sense that men are going to go to a place where they don't have to look for that.
Look and what race you are. We all looking for the same thing. The question is though, are we creating environments where those things can actually exist? I don't know. But for real, if this
The short answer to that
conversation
is no.
gave you something to think about, if this conversation made you think a little bit, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Do not be shy to comment. I would love
You see
to
that? I like how
hear
you
what
say
you
shy and
guys
stuff
think
like that. And portion.
about this topic. Drop your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys in my next video.
Okay. So, and there you have it. Very new, but you know, like it and with somebody who's like new to the space and just kind of looking around and like, oh, okay, you know, um, and that's fine. It's fine. I'm not gonna condemn her or anything. Dang, what? Oh, did y'all see this? Holy crap! That is an extraordinarily unattractive woman. Okay. Um, oh, now this one here, I was gonna tell you. I don't know if she's married or not, but this one here is possibly going to be my next crush because um, she still kind of favors Kelly Stamp, but without the almond eyes that Kelly Stamp has. Uh, but very bright and great potential. Great potential crush, provided she's not married already. All right, let's see. I understand the root issue of the disconnect between brown skinned men. What the hell? And women in America, and it's liberating. It's more of a deep rooted internal psychological. It's not deep rooted. It's not deep rooted. It's about as deep as their belly. Issue isn't externally okay. He's just trying to use big words. All right, you stupid. All right. Anyway, the reason why there's a disconnect is because 60 to 70% of Black people in America come from broken homes. No, no, no. The reason why there's a disconnect because 80% of Black women are fat as hell. All right, let's see. When a person comes from a broken home, it's hard for them to be in a relationship due to their what broke the homes? You stupid. Let's see what our response is. Facts. Listen. Stop deflecting. Stop deflecting. Stop deflecting. It's because of the broken homes. It's because of slavery. It's because of the man. It's because of white women. It's because of it. Listen, it's because you're fat as hell and obnoxious as fuck. All right? Stop with the bullshit. Stop it. Stop it. It's because you're fat, fake hair, fake lashes, too much damn makeup, too much damn attitude, and you're fat. And I say it twice because that bothers me more. You dumb baby. Growing up, I was surprised to see that I was the only person in my class that was living in a two-parent household. Yeah. Ooh, super chat. Okay, let's see. GameChanger. I know you usually go for hours. If you get a chance, join K9 No Fear Entertainment. I talked you up a lot. Wait, wasn't that the nigga that wasn't he talking like reckless the other day on Razor Rays? Is that the same dude? You got the super chat, just tell me. If you don't get a chance, no worries. I love your content. Everyone needs to love you. They do. They do. So for those of you who don't know, and thank you, Melissa. Appreciate the 20. Um, I'm over on Razor Rays, and I forget what the topic was, but everybody was giving me. Melissa was in the chat room. Everybody was giving me heat on something. I was. Oh no, this what it was. That's what it was. So apparently, Jay Rillo goes to, um, he goes to some country, right? He goes to a country, and because Jay Rillo is known for just crashing out and doing ignorant shit, they mad for the absence of the ignorant shit, right? So I go up there and I'm like, listen, it's good that brothers don't is not acting a fool. We have, just like I was telling the sisters here about ethnic reputation, we have our own ethnic reputation to uphold. And I don't like it when people go to other countries and act a complete retard. So I'm saying this, right? And I think it was the dude that she big upping right now. He's like, no, we have a right. He had like a dirty white beater on. We have a right to act a fool, and nobody gonna take more. Shut the hell up. Their stupidity is only bound by the law. They like everything that a person can do that's legal. They feel that it's okay to do. You're embarrassing me. I'm gonna subscribe on your say so, but I'm tell you that was a weird exchange. All right, let's read some more. The women told the men to go away, and that's what the men did. Ooh, let's see what her response is to that. Facts. Okay, I thought it was going to be something insightful. Like, I mean, because he really just like covered the whole issue. And you're talking about come back to the table. It's like she already told you to get away from my table, and it is what she said. If you have to pay, you already lost. Let's see. How to spot a king in the making. Y'all tell me what y'all want to see. Why most relationships fail during arguments. I hovered over this to see if her titties was bigger than I thought, but they're not. Because typically, full lips come with big titties. Let's see. Sign she's wasting your time. You're ignoring this. Okay. I would normally click something like that, but really, I don't think that. There'll be much nuance there. Ooh, the biggest dating mistake women makes. The biggest dating mistake women make in the first 90 days. I'm curious. I'm curious. Sex isn't a weapon. I agree with that. Okay, so like I say, I'm not going to condemn this woman because we don't agree with everything. And she is a married woman. She's married. Oh, wait. Submission scares her. Why submission scares modern women? The real reason. Oh, should I click this one or should I click the first 90-day one? Actually, I'm going to click y'all comments. I'm going to read some because I got $20. $20. All right, so. Bruh, she playing in y'all faces. Maybe. I personally like my cars with wheels on them. I know, but you don't have to say it. Like, like if you go into a dealership and they say, "So, what type of car are you looking for?" You say one with wheels. They know that you lost. They know that you're used to Fred Flintstone around the neighborhood, and they're like, okay, so I could pretty much sell him anything at this point, and that's the state that we're in. Okay, y'all saying y'all want to see the submission video? All right, I could play that. Creating environments. She's trying to say black men don't build. Listen, what black women did, what black women want more than anything, is to be the global beauty standard. And anything that we build, okay, back to the video I showed about the Asian guy, the Oriental guy who was talking about, who asked those white women what kind of men that you prefer, or what men would you never date, and they all said Asian men. Their women are the standard, so they really don't have to try as hard to become the standard. And because their men are not the standard, they're able to build. You see, here's black women's biggest fear. One of their biggest fear, outside of, their own hair. Black women's biggest fear is that black men become Asian men. Black men's biggest fear is that black men become Asian men. Why? Because once black men get it together on a socioeconomic level, then the floodgates will open. That's the only advantage that other groups of men have on us. I mean, we've been fucking white women while broke since the day after slavery. So I mean, what will happen if we ever got rich? That's what, and I'm talking about on a collective level. That's what they fear, because they fear it when they see an individual get rich in the NBA or something like that. Oh, he's gonna get himself a light skinned white. He's gonna get himself a light skinned white Asian exotic Latina. That's what they cry. So imagine if the whole race got it together the way the Asian men got it together. That's what they fear. They don't want to see that. They don't want to see that. They'll have that same feeling that Obi-Wan had when he seen Anakin turn to the dark side. It's like, oh no, like, I'll do what I must. It's like that. That is the worst case scenario. When they found out Palpatine is like, so our worst fears have come to fruition. That is the worst case scenario. They will do everything to assure that we do not have a functioning community, because they know that functioning community moistens the thighs of everybody else, and they know it. and they know it. That is their deepest, darkest fear. And it just so happened to coincide with the white man's deepest, darkest fear. Dysfunction is the only thing that is stopping Becky from my penis. And they know it. And they know it. And it's not even stopping it. They need dysfunction. Cortez Smith, they need dysfunction. They need it. They need it. It is the only thing that is keeping, the BBC floodgates away. I kid you not. It's the only thing. It's like Game of Thrones. The wall is the only thing that's keeping this the what's his name? The Snow King or the Ice King. The wall was the only thing that kept the Ice King at bay. And then once the wall collapsed, and then all the Ice Kings and the people came, and the Night Walkers and stuff came. The Night King. Then the Night King came. That's it. That's it. And they know it. They know it. It's their fear. It's their fear. You fear it. You fear it. Because they understand that the richer we get, the harder they have to compete for my penis. But they don't want it. Why? Because they require two things from black men in order to keep their society going. And that is lust and that's why Asian men can build and we can't. Why? Because Asian women don't mind supporting their sons in building something. And you want to know why? Because even if Asian men become the wealthiest racial demographic in the country, white women still not gonna fuck them. So they don't have that fear of Becky. They don't have that fear of Becky that the black women have. They know that Becky ain't gonna fuck them. They could do anything. They could do anything. And Becky's still not gonna fuck them. So white women like, oh yes, you become doctor. You become doctor. Or no, China women be like, you become doctor. You become doctor now. Now you become doctor. See, they can do that, knowing that only the women that are raised to fuck them will fuck them. They don't have to fear Becky. But what happens when a black woman raises her son to be a doctor? Oh, that's when the competition comes in, and that's when Keisha have to be less Keisha, and they don't like that. It goes against the sisterhood. It goes against their religion. It goes against their soul. Somebody said lust and what? Lust and loyalty. Lust and loyalty is the only thing that a black boy will learn from his single black mother. Is lust and loyalty. Lust so the women can control him, and loyalty to assure that only their demographic has that control over him. Lust, write it down. Write down my wisdom. And hit the like button. All right, so somebody said that they wanted to see the submission video. So where's that at? It was like a 5-minute video. All right, here we go.
What's up, y'all? So today we're gonna talk about a word that most women view as the boogeyman. The boogeyman himself. This word is viewed like a woman views an intruder at the fucking front door. So let's just jump right into it. The word is submission. we're going to talk about the word submission.
Okay.
Now, before you click off or get defensive, just stay with me on this one. Because the way this word has been taught, the way this word has been pushed out to most women was not originally the way it should have been. There's a lot of misrepresentations of this word. So today, I want to just give a little bit of insight to help
Please.
women and men fully understand what this word really means. So
I can't take people who use the word overstand seriously. And I really want to big up her content. I really do. I really do. Yeah. But I can't really take it too seriously. And I take a lot of words seriously that I shouldn't take seriously. Like, now that I mean, I take that more seriously than overstand. Know what I mean? I'm gonna say, what's with the tattoos? What do you mean? I can't read it. I don't know that was his or supposed to be.
oh yeah, what submission actually means. The word submission has been completely misunderstood and it has been completely misused. It has also been used for the wrong reasons. At its core, submission does not mean being controlled, being inferior. It does not mean that
The fuck it don't.
choice
Listen,
is being
you see this? Stop trying to change the word of submission so you can say I'm submissive. Stop it. Stop it. It means that this is not a democracy. This is a dictatorship. And since I got the dicks, you give me taters and shit. That's what that means. Listen, let me look it up. Submission is the act of yielding authority or formal presenting of a document / proposal for consideration. That's when you submit like a document or something like that. It commonly refers to submitting work, the manuscript, okay. Obeying orders or in law. Referring to a matter of arbitration, it denotes both the action of yielding and the item being submitted. So they're like shifting back and forth between two definitions, like one when you submit your midterm or something like that, and the other when you submit to a person. When you yield to my authority. That's what that means. Stop trying to make it sound like something, a different form of equality or some crap like that. No, you give me sandwich. That's submission.
silenced. It doesn't mean that you're being completely dominated. The original meaning of submission actually means to be in alignment. It means to
No,
be
it does
in
not.
cooperation and agreement. It just means that
Yeah.
you and this person are moving in the same direction.
But he determines the direction. He determines the direction. That because you are submitting to his direction. If yeah, that's what that means. If he says west and you want to go east and you go west, it means that you are submitting to his his direction to go west, which is a better place to go. Because that's the only way you're gonna get to the bay. Yeah. Huh. So yeah, that's what that means.
Same vision. So submission is about two people. It's not about one person in the relationship. Submission doesn't actually benefit just one person in the relationship.
No, it
Everything
benefits
is
both
happening.
parties. But make no mistake, You are yielding authority to the party. If you want to call yourself submissive, you must understand fully that, oh no, it's just a form of equality. It just means that we're going in the same direction. No, it means that you are yielding authority to the person that you are submitting to. Make no mistake of that.
Then that is not real submission. Submission is about two people choosing to be on one accord with one another.
No, it's about the submissive person choosing to be on the accord of the dominant person. Now, of course, the accords are going to align because you are on his accord, but it aligned because as a result of the submission. The alignment is not the submission. The alignment is the byproduct of submission. You are aligned because you are submitted. You're not submitted because you're aligned. Because what she's describing is a situation where two people are going in the same direction anyway, and therefore you are submitting to him because you're going in the same direction. No, that's completely different. It's not happenstance. Submission is not happenstance.
So think of it like this: when two people are submitted to the same vision, the same values, they have the same goals, the same purpose, there's harmony in that. So submission is not about power, it's about partnership. Like I said before, to be in agreement, alignment, to be
Ah, y'all hear this? See, this is the type of submission that will only get you to. She'll only submit to the things that she was going to do anyway. That's not actual submission.
in cooperation. So submission itself is a partnership. So forget about the trauma, and the abuse that you experienced, from people who misrepresented the word, and understand this. Submission does not mean blind obedience. It does not mean silence. It does not mean that you're tolerating abuse, disrespect, or imbalance.
No, it doesn't. Well, at least the abuse part. It doesn't mean that, if you find yourself submitted to a tyrant um, continuously, then it does mean that in that individual instance. But it doesn't imply tyranny. I agree with that.
True submission requires mutual respect. It requires mutual responsibility, mutual accountability. So, like I said before, if benefiting, then that's not submission.
Well, both parties benefit from it, but that really doesn't have anything to do with submission.
That's control. So,
Okay, somebody said, and I said this earlier. Let me go back. This chick is 100% like Danica Marie. I don't know how some of you guys in the comments can deny it. Yeah, I don't understand that either. And it's not 100%. She is like a lesser version of it, less experienced, less titty, less lit, and less almond-eyed um, version. I think she's even younger too. So she is a like less version of D. Marie, but very similar, like Robin being similar to Batman. Yes, might say great guy, Danica Marie. Exactly. Now, certain things don't really transfer into generic well. For example, soda transfers to generic well. You could get a select brand cola that's pretty similar to Coke or Pepsi. You can get or just general orange soda. That's it's very similar to Crush. brand soda. Some ice cream. Ice cream transferred to generic very well. Um, and so those are the things. And steak sauce and ketchup transfer to generic very well. And then there are the things that don't transfer to generic very well. Frosted Flakes. Whoever thought of making generic Frosted Flakes is a complete trash human being. Like, y'all can't even get the frosting to flake ratio right. Y'all don't have the right amount of raisins per brand in your raisin brand, you nasty cereal generic bastard. Like, it's just brand flakes and raisins. And y'all raisins be drier than regular raisins. It don't have a sugar coat. You can't get generic anyway. So that's an example of something that don't transfer to what else? What else transfers to generic? Oh, pudding. Pudding. You nasty bastards. Don't eat generic pudding. I don't know if you ever tried it. Listen, I just eat jello. I just spend the extra 43 cents and buy some jello because it doesn't transfer well. So what's my point in saying this? My point in saying this is I don't know yet if, because it's very early in our career, if generic Danica Marie is going to be as tasty or if it's going to transfer over as well as the real stuff, which is Danica Marie. I don't know that yet. It could be like soda, which transferred to generic very well, or it could be like Jello that don't. Who knows? It's yet to be seen.
Be able to decipher, you know what I'm saying, the two, be able to discern the two. Um, so the reason why
Hold on, let me address this. Generic condoms don't work. Why would you know that? Is there a baby walking around thanks to generic condoms well, thank you for sharing. Thank you for warning the people. So it's you. I took a picture of it. I'll never forget the day I was at the 99-cent store and I seen some condoms there. It was 3 packs. It was a 3-pack. I was like, who in the hell? Who in the hell bought condoms from a 99-cent store? Now I know it's Dominic. Now, holy crap. Babies and AIDS. But no, I never trusted a generic condom. I remember they was looking at me crazy at the barbershop. So there was a program where, and I guess they thought it was a black thing, but they were passing out free condoms, like boxes of condoms, to barbershops in the hood. And they were looking at me funny because I would go to the whole bowl and pick out the magnums and leave the rest for each other. Now that I think about it, that is a selfish asshole thing to do. To just go to a free box of condoms and pick out all the magnums and walk out the door. I was on a different mindset when I was young. That's exactly the type of shit I did. That's exactly the type of shit I did. I didn't just do that. Like, if I went to somebody's house and they had like a candy dish, I would pick out the Milky Ways and just eat the shit. So yeah. Anyway, what was I saying? Generic condoms. Yeah. I don't use them. I found out at a very young age that lifestyles was the reason that my dick was off when I was fucking. When I started fucking, as a teenager, I thought that all condoms were the same. I thought that they stretched to fit all penis. And what would happen is I had trouble even at a young age maintaining erection, and because what happens is if it's too small, the band at the end of it will cut off your circulation, and it's like putting a rubber band around your dick. And you slowly just lose potency. And I'm very new to what I'm doing, so I'm like, something is wrong, or it's just me, or maybe I'm just one of those people that's wired different. But then the OG, and by OG I mean like high school seniors, told me that this is what's going on, and that's what happened. That's the end of that problem.
Many women perceive this as something negative. Um, is because the word itself has been presented to most women through patriarchal systems, religious manipulation, cultural conditioning.
Patriarchal systems, holy crap. Okay, I was on the fence about the generic Danica Marie thing, but now it sounds bad. It sounds all right. I'm not liking what I'm hearing.
For generations, women were told to submit, don't question nothing, submit, just endure, submit and sacrifice
Yes,
yourself. So understandably so, most women do, feel that this word is very heavy. But when
it is
submission is
very
taught
heavy.
without safety, when it's taught without choice or reciprocity, it becomes a threat to the woman instead of a bond. So yes, this word has been.
Okay, so though the word is often associated with tyranny, it doesn't mean that it means equality. You're taking it to a different extreme. No, it means that you are to follow his leadership. Sometimes that leadership does require sacrifice. Listen, you don't get anything in life without sacrifice. Don't get me wrong, some people are fortunate and some people are unfortunate, meaning that some people um, don't have to sacrifice anything to get everything. And other people can sacrifice everything and still have nothing. I do understand that these extremes exist. But for the most part, if you want anything, you're going to have to sacrifice something. You're going to have to sacrifice time. You're going to have to sacrifice in some cases money. In some cases, you're going to have to sacrifice energy. Like, I mean, a basketball player had to sacrifice in order to be successful at his craft. Like, you don't really, and once again, there are people who are born rich, um, but generally speaking, you have to sacrifice. And yes, women would have to sacrifice the liberty that they so desperately seek if they want to be in a relationship where they are submitted to someone. Is what it is. You're going to have to sacrifice something. Sometimes you're going to have to sacrifice your figure and your non-stretch mark body in order to have a child, in order to bring a life into this world. I mean, yes. Yes, when you are submitting to a man, you are sacrificing your liberty because you trust his direction and vision. So somebody said something, not generic comments don't work. Somebody said something about Fruit Loops or something like that. I don't know. I can't find it, but yeah, it's and that's what it's given. So years ago, and they canceled it now because it was ridiculous. But um, they had something called Fruity Cheerios. So whoever makes Cheerios thought it would be a good idea to make fruit flavored Cheerios, knowing that it's just Fruit Loops but worse. Stop it. I hope that she's not Fruit Cheerios. I hope that she's not that. I hope she's not like generic Cheerios. Like, I mean, or generic Fruit Loops. Like Danica Marie being Fruit Loops and her being fruit flavored Cheerios. I hope that she don't do that. I hope she be a good version of a generic thing.
Misrepresented submission was never meant to be one-sided, but this word got distorted when men were taught authority over women without responsibility. Women were taught duty without protection.
Men were not taught authority without responsibility. And women most certainly were not taught, what was it, protection or something like that, duty without protection. None of that is true. Listen, hold on. Listen, we have to understand that there was a generation for some people. It was some people's family. It was boomers. For most people's families, it was boomers. Some of them, it was older Gen Xers. But somewhere along the line, women decided to emancipate themselves from what they felt was slavery. Point blank, period. Stop pretending like, like women have always just went out looking for the most responsible guy. Because I could show you a video where where a 16-year-old girl impregnated herself with a guy, and then, when they ask, what did you like about him? They say, he bow-legged. I like bow-legged boys. Okay. They're not seeking leadership because they don't feel that they should be led.
Power was prioritized instead of unity being prioritized. Real submission is voluntarily done. It's not forced.
Yes.
It's a decision. It's not a.
It's always been voluntary. It's just that the women stopped volunteering. They stopped volunteering. I'm a strong, independent woman. Does that ring a bell? I'm a strong, independent woman. Independence is the exact opposite of submission. That's a path that they chose.
Demand. You can't command alignment. You can't command that somebody be in cooperation with you. That alignment happens when trust.
Listen, you can't command it, but if you're going to be a woman and you call yourself submissive, you actually have to submit.
Exist when true harmony is present. So healthy submission looks like we're building together. We're on the same page with one another. We respect each other's roles. We are accountable to one another. It's not about who's above who. It's about who's committed to the vision, who's committed to.
This is what happens when you get a woman who wants to call herself submission, but have a problem with submitting. They alter the definition.
Seeing it through. When submission is mutual, no one feels diminished. Both people feel secure. So submission brings security, to both people in a relationship. So if the word submission makes you uncomfortable, ask yourself, was I taught the real meaning of this word, or was I taught a misuse? And remember, submission in its pure form is simply two people choosing alignment over ego. If this resonated with you, like, comment on the video. I would love to hear what you guys think. And let's keep unlearning all the BS that binds us in the first place.
Well, all right, that happened. So, and we're at the 3-hour mark. So I'm gonna close down. Let's see. Also, there's a difference between having a submissive nature and submitting personally to a particular person. Yeah, there is. There is, absolutely. I mean, one tends to lead to another, but nevertheless, I get it. A 2-pound bag. What's that about? The economy side. You talking about cereal? The chest tattoo is just icing on the cake. Cake. Chef's kiss. Okay. Those Cheetos were terrible. You talking about generic Cheetos? I never tried that. I'm not a Cheeto person though. I don't like that orange dust, and I'm not saying I didn't enjoy it when I was a kid, but it's something about the orange dust that's supposed to be cheese that's just terrible to me. These women might need tyranny at this point. You're talking about like the show Handmaid's Tale and stuff like that. All right. What men are taught that this is textbook feminist rhetoric? It does sound like it. Whenever they say the patriarchy and as a pejorative, that's definitely strongly feminist influence. The patriarchy. They say it with disdain, like, yes, I want protection without a patriarchy. Okay. Tell me more. I don't know what you want men to protect something that they don't have control over. My next video is going to cover that, so stay tuned for that. Let's see. Yeah. See the next comment. Gotta get something to eat. Gotta get some food, All right. Yes, it was meant to be one-sided. After Eve ate the fruit. Yeah. Like, oh no, submission is just a different form of equality or egalitarianism. All right, let's see. You're talking to Cortez. Okay. Just destroying Saturday morning back in the day. Well, fortunately, I can't think of anybody in my family that ever served generic cereal. I might have tried it like in college to save a few bucks. I was so broke. I was so broke that I discovered things while being broke. For example, you broke when you know that red Kool-Aid was 4 for $1 and not red Kool-Aid was 5 for $1. And that there actually exists a brand of ramen noodles that's not Top Ramen. There's ramen, and I kid you not, y'all can look this up. This is broke. There's ramen, and then there's Top Ramen. And ramen, because I actually saved money. I think I got like a case of ramen for like $3. And ramen don't have a flavor pack. And Top Ramen do. And I'm not making this up. So, and it was at that time I explored generic cereal as well. So yeah, that's an actual thing. And that's how I know I'd sooner just spend the extra money and get regular cereal. No, that's not right. The man is the leader as per God. It's an abomination. Submission is mutual. She's a manipulative bride. I think that she just don't know. I mean, I don't know yet, but the jury's still out on that. But she's either being deliberately deceptive or she genuinely just don't know. That's like saying the boss is equal to the employee. Yeah, I mean, in that you're always going to have a situation of chaos when there's no chain of command and no hierarchy, because nobody's willing to submit to anybody. Bosses work too. Yeah, yeah. I meant fruit Cheerios. You talking about what I was saying earlier? Flavorless ramen sound like hell on earth. I didn't know it was flavorless. I didn't know it was flavorless. I just seen like it was like 5 cents less or something like that, and I got it. All right. Anyway, I want to thank the cash apps and super chats, managers and moderators, those who are listening silently, those who participate in the chat. That like button on your way out is GameChanger 00100. Game over. Peace.